I was asked to welcome the visitors, and so to those of you who are first-timer, as I call your name, I would like to request you to please stand, and we will be giving you a very warm welcome. We would like to welcome to the church the following. We have, I'm not sure if I will say it correctly, but I'll do my best. Diren Destacamento, invited by Sheila Sarko. And Asad Riaz. Please remain standing. And another, we have Gretchen Velasco, invited by Sister Alona. We have Ian Lemuel Rimas. Where are you, Ian? There, bro. He is invited by Liza Angeles. Also, Cristel Joy. Cristel Joy invited by Sam and Roger. Arlene, invited by Ferlene. Where's Arlene? Okay. We have Mary Ann, invited by Monet. Where's Mary Ann? Please remain standing. And we have invited by yours truly, Ajas and Brother Kumar. Ayan. So, yan po, sabi sa Bible, isa lang manang tayo, libo-libo ang kailan nagpupuri. We have 9 visitors and millions of angels are rejoicing in heaven. So, come on church, let's give them a warm welcome. Praise be to God. Kumusta po ang inyong eat break? Hello? Sige po ba kayo? Kumusta po ang inyong eat break? How is your eat break? In the UAE, konti lang po yung ating holiday, di ba? So every time may holiday, talagang sinasamantalayan. So one of my rules or policies as a pastor when it comes to holiday, especially here in the UAE, ayoko talagang magkaroon ng mga activities because I would like everyone to be refreshed. So tingnan mo yung katabi mo kung na-refresh ka ng holiday. Na-refresh ba? O mas na-stress? Na-stress? Alright? Well, I feel bad to those of you who are stressed. I've seen a lot of Facebook lives, videos, and photos. A lot of church members that check in sa hotel, but I decided to take a lot of rest, and I went outdoors. I played badminton and swimming sa beach with some of the members, and I really feel rejuvenated. This morning, I was in the lane. Nag-preach po tayo sa church natin doon from 9 to 11, and then I'm here with you today. And this evening, I'll go straight to Abu Dhabi to preach. So, the joy of the Lord is my strength. Okay, month of June, our series is about worship. I know that this topic is somehow basic to everyone, but let us learn about the topic called the heart of worship. And today, we will be learning from the book of Luke, chapter 7, verses 36 to 50. And I also use from the book of Mark, chapter 14, verses 1 to 11. Okay, I have a question for you today. Who among you loves perfume? Raise your hand. Right, so, anong perfume ang gamit niyo? Back in the days, nung high school or college days, I don't have any idea yet about the expensive perfume. Ang paborito ko ay yung Bench 8 na perfume. So, hanggang dun lang ako. But when I entered the pastoring ministry, the members started to give me some perfumes like I'm not sure if I pronounce it correctly, but yung mga mamahaling perfume. And that time, I really don't appreciate. Sabi ko, parang hindi naman ito mabango. Mas mabango pa rin yung nakasanayan ko, di ba? But when I went to the shop, oh my, I was really shocked to know that these are really expensive perfumes. Well, lahat tayo we love perfume. Meron ba dito hindi nagpe-perfume? Really? Okay. So, natural scent. Okay. I commend you for that. Yung iba sa inyo parang allergic sa perfume, I don't know. But today, let's learn from one lady, a woman, featured in the Bible, that because of her expensive perfume, it has become the turning point of her life to get to know Jesus. Okay? So let's learn from her. And I will use the reference from Mark chapter 14, but I'll be reading the key verses from that verse 4, and on the following. It says here, all right, are you ready? It says here, some of those present were saying indignantly to one another, "Why this waste of perfume? It could have been sold for more than a year's wages and the money given to the poor." And they rebuked her harshly. "Leave her alone," said Jesus. "Why are you bothering her? She has done a beautiful thing to me." On the next slide, "The poor you will always have with you, and you can help them anytime you want, but you will not always have me. She did what she could. She poured perfume on my body beforehand to prepare for my burial. Truly I tell you, wherever the gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her." Okay, the Lord may add blessings to His word. Let's talk about the girl or the woman named Mary. Ang Mary po ay popular name sa Bible. Okay? Meron ba ditong may Mary yung pangalan? Marami, no? Mary, come on, Mary, and any Mary? Mary, meron ba? Meron pa Mary? Mary 1, Mary 2, meron ba ibang Mary? Wala na. Okay. Mary is a popular name in the Bible. So, do not be confused when I say Mary. Maybe you have this idea that this Mary is the mother of Jesus. So, marami pong Mary sa Bible. Okay? So, let me introduce to you Mary. The text that we have read is from the Gospel of Mark. And it was written by John Mark for the Gentile Christians in Rome. Ang Gospels po, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, may iba't iba po itong recipient. So the book of Mark was written for the Gentile Christians in Rome. And the text that we have read, or we will be studying today, the story of the event took place 2 days before the Passover. Ito po yung may feast sa Jerusalem, and Jesus is about to be hindi pa naman about to be executed. Malapit na siyang hulihin, and his enemies are planning to arrest him and to trap him so that he would be put to death by his enemies. So, the event is 2 days before the Passover. Well, in the long run, you will understand why it is necessary to mention this feast of the Passover. Okay, the name of the woman was identified as Mary from Bethany. She was the sister of Martha and Lazarus. Kung natatandaan niyo po, si Jesus, meron siyang binuhay na namatay na for 3 days. The guy's name was Lazarus. Kapatid niya po si Mary and then Martha. Okay? So, if you're gonna read John chapter 11 verse 2, so John was referring to Mary as the sister of Lazarus. Si Lazarus po ay 3 days nang patay. Okay? He was dead for 3 days, but the Lord has raised him from the dead. Well, back in those times, na hindi pa po nagkakaroon ng process of embalming of the dead. Well, to those of you who are new, if you are not Christian, so we respect the dead highly. But back in those days, pag namatay, so hinuhugasan yung body, tapos binabalutan ng linen cloth, parang mami, okay? Tapos nililibing na, di ba? So, sabi nila, it's really possible for a person who has been dead for 3 or more days to be raised kasi kompleto pa yung vital organs. But nowadays, di ba? Pag namatay na, let's say, nasa casket na, wala na ibang internal organs na buhay, ibang usapan na yan, mga kapatid, di ba? Parang, me too, I would really be scared, no? Alam niyo yung feeling na, paano yun? Parang, well, nothing is impossible with God naman talaga, but somehow, that would leave us astounded by the fact that how can a person without complete body parts would live? But here's the thing. Lazarus was raised from the dead, and Jesus was passing from Bethany, going to Jerusalem. And let me say, this alabaster jar, okay, the woman, Mary, who has this alabaster jar of perfume, is very expensive fragrance imported from India. Mababango pala ang mga perfume na nabibili from India, okay? In those times, it's very expensive, okay? And I know what you're thinking, but let's just be quiet. There are 3 important questions based on this story, okay? Let's learn more about this alabaster jar. Important questions based on this. Let me tell you this, okay? This is the scenario. So, si Jesus, he was invited to a house named, a house of Simon. Sa ibang version, sabi, Simon the Pharisee or Simon the leper. He was invited, at nung nandoon siya, puro mga guys or men, mga lalaki lahat yung nandoon. At alam niyo po, sa kultura ng mga Jews, kapag kami gathering sa isang bahay, women are really not allowed to enter. Back in those days, there's a high discrimination against gender. So, men and then women. So, men and women. There are 3 things na pinagpapasalamat ng isang Jew kapag ka nagpe-pray siya tuwing umaga. 3 bagay ang pinagpapasalamat niya. First, they thank God, okay? A Jew, a man who is a Jew, nagpapasalamat siya kay Lord every day. Number 1, dahil siya ay hindi Gentile. So sabi niya, Lord, thank you because I am not a Gentile. Because I belong to the family of God. The second one, Lord, thank you because I am not a slave. I am a free person. I can move around, I can talk to people, and I can do whatever I want. And the third thing na pinagpapasalamat nila ng isang lalaking Jew is, Lord, thank you because I am not a woman. Ay, grabe, no? Alam niyo kung bakit? Kasi back in those days, women are just properties. So, kapag nanganak yung isang babae, at ang isang babae at nanganak, sabi niya, ay, babae yung anak, sayang naman. Parang ganon. Yung parang, walang halaga. They don't have the right to vote. They don't have the right to speak. They're not educated. And, pinagbibenta sila. Alam niyo yung parang sa market, may presyo sila. So, kung ikaw medyo may edad na, 1 dirham na lang siguro yung presyo mo. Kung pepresyohan mo yung katabi mo ngayon, ito mga mga $200 pa to. Tapos yung iba, buy one, take one na. O kaya tumpok or pakyawan. Parang, ay, bilhin nyo na, sige na. Wala talagang bumibili. No? So parang, okay, tuwan-tuwa yung mga men. Okay. At meron pang isa, alam niyo po yun, because women are treated that way, sa bahay, alam niyo po, napakasaklap. Ang mga babae ang nag-iigib ng tubig. Ang mga lalaki ay nandun lang, no? Kasi ano nga sila, head of the house. Pag magta-travel, ang mga lalaki ang nakasakay sa horse or donkey, ang mga babae naglalakad. Very gentleman. Gentlewoman pala, sorry. So, and then, dito, sa eksenang ito, Mary learned that Jesus was passing through Bethany. Remember, si Lord, papunta lang talaga siya sa Bethany to meet Lazarus. He is just passing through, and then afterward, he will go to Jerusalem to enter Jerusalem, and then he will fulfill his mission of dying on the cross. And when Mary learned that Jesus was passing through Bethany, sabi niya, this is it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me because Jesus was just passing through. Maybe you have heard a lot of things about Jesus. She have heard that Jesus healed the sick. Jesus is able to forgive sin. Jesus is able to speak wisdom and counsel to many people. But she really wants to meet Jesus face to face. The only problem is it's the gathering of men, and she is not allowed. So look at her, look at the risk that she have taken in order to meet Jesus. And so there are three important questions based on the story. Number one, how much is gratitude worth? Okay? May nararanasan tayo sa buhay natin na we are so thankful for one person and we do not know how to give back, how to reciprocate that kind of thankfulness na nararamdaman mo. Have you been into that kind of feeling na, alam mo, hindi ko alam kung paano kita mapasalamatan, libre na lang kita ng shawarma. Yung gano'n. Alam mo, I'm so thankful for what you have done. Let me buy you a chai or water. Ito lang yung kaya ko. But I'm really so thankful. Really, wala. Gano'n ka pa. Parang, I'm really thankful ako. Pero, alam nyo, sa babae ito na so much thankful about Jesus, he is so thankful for this opportunity that she really wants to meet the Lord. So how much is gratitude worth? Another question, how much is forgiveness worth? Maybe to some of you have experienced the forgiveness or the forgiving power of the Lord. May mga times na, Lord, thank you. Pinatawad mo ako. You have given me another chance. I don't deserve it. Lord, I don't know how to give back. Or maybe, sa isang tao, sabi mo, alam mo, thankful ako. You have given me another chance. Alam mo, thankful ako for accepting me for who am I. Thankful ako for giving me this kind of love. And I don't know how to reciprocate or how to return that kind of chance that you have given to me. I'm so thankful. So, how much is forgiveness worth? The third question is, how much is salvation from a depraved life worth? Why did I say this? Because Mary is living a sinful woman, sinful life. This is her testimony. This is her integrity. And she needs salvation. She needs another chance. And this story will remind us that gratitude, forgiveness, and salvation were put together by the Lord in order to change the life of that poor little woman being transformed by God from glory to glory. Let's talk about here the topic called the heart of worship. Learning from Mary how she was able to encounter the Lord and being able to offer her everything, and thereby we call it the heart of worship. What is worship? Karl Barth, he said, a theologian, Christian worship is the most momentous, the most glorious action that can take place in human life. Ang worship daw po, okay, worship for Karl Barth, momentous and glorious. Pag sabi momentous, you're collecting some beautiful moments, but it's also glorious, worth remembering. Westminster Shorter Catechism says, what is the chief end of man? The chief end of man is to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever. To those of you who are asking, what is Westminster Shorter Catechism? This is the group where, who formed the creed. Alam niyo yung pinag-prayer natin dati na, I believe in God, the Father Almighty, Creator of heaven and earth. Yung creed natin, di ba? I believe in Jesus Christ, the Son of God, and so on and so forth. So, this is the group that formed the creed. Sabi nila, the chief end of man is to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever. So worship then is to glorify God and to enjoy His presence, to be with Jesus every day, enjoying His companionship, enjoying His presence. Alfred Gibbs was able to put this definition in a very perfect manner. He said, worship is man's highest occupation. Highest occupation. You know, in other words, worship then is declaring God's worthiness. If God is worthy of giving, if God is worthy of the very best that you could ever give, if God is worthy of the best time that you have, if God is worthy of all your talents, then you are declaring God's worthiness, and that is worship. I believe, ito rin yung nakita ni Mary. When she learned that Jesus is passing through, she has to give all that she's got in order to declare the worthiness of God. Let's talk about her then. Number one, Mary, her heart is right. Look at the verse. While he was in Bethany, reclining at the table in the home of Simon the leper, okay, a woman came with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume made of pure nard. She broke the jar and poured the perfume on his head. Verse 37 of chapter 7 of Luke, sabi dyan, When a woman who had lived a what? Sinful life. Now, let me ask you, paano nila nalaman na ang babae may sinful life? Hindi pa uso social media noon. Alam niyo, marami na rin chismoso noon, mga kapatid. Okay. Marami na rin. I had this very funny experience. It was 2 Saturdays ago. Nasa Burjuman po ako. And I've met with some of my friends. And meron nung, nasa coffee shop kami sa Costa. I was there and nagkakwentuhan kami. Tapos merong isang babaeng umiiyak na nasa malayong table. Eh, kasi kami magkakaibigan, may habit kami na, what's the story? Parang gano'n. Pag na, hey, what's the story? Parang gano'n. So parang, sa magkakaibigan, sabi ko, ba't kayo umiiyak eh? Sa tingin mo, sabi niya, ako sa tingin ko, PJ, ano niya, hindi niya matanggap na, hindi niya matanggap na buntis siya at siya ang ama. Ay, talaga? Ikaw sa tingin mo. Ako, PJ, sa tingin ko, may nalaman siyang sekreto sa lalaki niya, kaya siya umiiyak. Sabi ko, ikaw ano sa tingin mo? Hanggang sa na-realize ko, parang ang dami natin kasalanan. Kasi, iniisip namin bakit siya umiiyak. So, we're trying to conclude, bakit ganito, bakit ganyan. But, gusto ko din tanungin, why are you crying? I think you've seen that lady crying. My fiancé was with me that time. So, yes. She was really mad that time. Anyway, seriously speaking, so, ayun na nga. So, ganun yung nangyari. So, parang itong ginagawa? Titigil na natin. Let her cry then. So, back in those times, yung mga tao noon, talagang talagang they talk about each other's life. And listen, when a woman who have lived a sinful life, the author was a guy. Napansin nyo? The author was a guy. So there's been a debate, sino daw po ang pinaka-mas mahilig sa gossip, men or women? Men. Ha? And the house is divided. Okay, we do not know based on the survey, but here's the thing. She is popular of being a sinful life. Of having a sinful life, no? This is her integrity. Popular siya na meron siyang masamang pamumuhay. Yung iba ay popular sa ibang bagay, pero itong babae popular for living a sinful life. Okay, but alam nyo, her heart is right. Kahit ginajudge siya ng mga tao for having a sinful life, her heart is really right. So here's the scenario. Jesus was sitting, reclining at the table, maraming boys, tapos may isang babaeng biglang papasok. Tapos pagpasok niya, gumapang siya, ang haba ng buhok niya, tapos gumagapang siyang pag-ganon. May naaalala kayo. Siyempre, lahat ng boys magtitinginan, tapos may babaeng gumagapang. Ang haba ng buhok, nakaganon. Tapos, alam mo, anong ginawa niya? Okay? Itong babae ito, talagang agaw eksena. Di ba? Imagine mo, nagbi-meeting yung mga primary men ni Pastor John, may biglang babaeng gagapang doon. Pupunta sa paan ni Pastor John, di ba? Parang, sister, are you drunk? Di ba? This is the scenario. Why? Let's define her actions. Number 1, 2, and 3, she was desperate to see Jesus. Number 2, she was humble or lowly. Number 3, she was penitent and had given up her hope. If you can only put your feet into her shoes, you would really feel the desperation. She has been judged. She has been condemned guilty. Talagang proven na makasalanan siya. Maybe, if she's walking along with other friends, or maybe she's walking down the road, people would say, oh, she's living a sinful life. Maybe, pag naglalakad siya, narinig niya, shame, shame, shame. Alam niyo yun? Ang dami niya narinig na accusation. And she felt Jesus is her only hope. She was so desperate. She was humble and lowly. That kind of humility na talagang totoo. Kasi may mga tinatawag na false humility. Alam niyo yun? Itong babae ito, talagang totoo siya sa sarili niya. May mga false humility kasi na, example, parang sinabihan ka ng friend mo, oy, ang ganda ng get-up mo. Ay, hindi ba? Ano nga lang to bagong gising lang ako Yung mga ganon. O kaya, parang, Uy, you look fresh. Ay, hindi, wala nga ito eh. Stress na stress nga ako. Pero ang sarap ng luto mo. Uy, wala nga, hindi chamba nga lang yan eh. Alam mo, instead of saying thank you, parang false humility rin yun, di ba? Instead of saying, ay, thank you, glory to God, talagang I did my best sa bagay niyan. So, ayan, this woman, without any pretension, without anything na nararamdaman niya na fake, she was really humble and lowly. At yung salitang penitent, if I were to summarize these three in one word, broken. She was broken. I love Matthew West when he wrote this song. He was able to put together the lyrics that says, when you see broken beyond repair, I see healing beyond belief. If you feel today that you are broken, God sees the opportunity for healing. When you see too far gone, I see one step away from home. No matter how far you've been through, just one step away from home. When you see nothing but damaged goods, I see something good in the making. If you felt that your life right now is a damaged good, God is seeing something good in the making. I am not finished yet. When you see yourself as wounded, God is looking at you as someone who is mended. You see your worst mistake, but I see the price I paid. There's nothing you could ever do to lose what's grace has won. Very powerful song. Magpatuloy lang tayong lumaban, maniwala at manalangin. May ginagawa ang Panginoon. Maybe ito yung sinasabi ni Mary sa sarili niya, Lord, lalaban ako. Okay? Kaya ko to. Lalaban ako, maniniwala ako, magpipray ako, because I know you are doing something. You know, the movie says, when all you see is your pain, you lose sight of me. From this movie, though there is some theological inaccuracy according to some critical thinkers, but I would focus more on this statement. When all you see is your pain, you lose sight of God who is able to heal, who is able to reconcile, and is able to put together your pain into a one shot of healing. So this is the heart of this woman called Mary. Desperate, lowly, and penitent. Let's have a heart for God. Proverbs 4:23 says, can we read all together? Begin. Watch over your heart with all diligence. Watch over your heart with all diligence, for from it flow the springs of life. Yung mga galing po ng province, alam niyo po yung ibig sabihin ng spring, no? Yung bukal. Masarap pong uminom dyan. Talagang sobrang sarap. Diba, pakita akong picture. Spring, payat days moment. I went to Baler, Aurora, and Aklan. Aklan, I went 2008. Back in the days na hindi pa uso yung mga pampataba. Payat days, wala pa ako sa Dubai. I was invited to teach in one Bible school in Aklan for a week. I went to Baler, Aurora for youth camp. Speaker ako sa youth camp. And I enjoyed spring. Sabi ng Bible, di ba? Balik tayo dun, guard your heart, or watch over your heart with all diligence, for from it flow, what? The springs of life. Ang puso daw po natin ay bantayan. Okay? Bantayan daw natin ang puso natin, sapagkat dito nagmumula ang tinatawag na bukal ng buhay. So, in other words, to have a heart for God is to have a heart that is filled with God's presence. No wonder Mary is so desperate. Kasi yung heart niya empty. Only God can satisfy an empty heart. Only God, who is the maker of our heart, can fill the heart that is empty. It cannot be filled by anything else in the world, but only God can. So a heart for God is a heart that is filled with God's presence. Okay? So look at this. She offered her jar, alabaster jar of perfume. This is a very expensive perfume because it was her investment for the future. Currently, this is equivalent to a year of wage for a Roman. I'm sorry, back in those days, it is equivalent sa isang taong sweldo ng Roman. And kung gagamitin natin yung conversion, according to Illustrated Bible by Nelson's, ang halaga daw po ng perfume na to, yung perfume pa lang ha, is around 20,000 to 30,000 US dollar. Okay? Yun yung kanyang dala-dala. Okay? And then what she did, ang perfume na to ay mabango, so syempre mamahalin. Sabi ng iba, regalo ko sa kanya ng isa sa mga naging customers niya. So hindi natin alam. But she has this investment for the future. Naisip niya may dadaang Jesus. So kailangan may ibibigay ako something na makakatawag ng kanyang pansin. What she did was, nung gumagapang siya, okay, umiiyak siya, at yung kanyang luha, ang parang naging water, para hugasan yung paa ni Jesus. Have you been into that kind of experience that you're really sobbing in tears? Umiyak na ba kayo na basang-basa ang inyong panyo? Ano ang naging cause ng pagkabasa? Luha? Or mas maraming tumulo ang tibang fluid, hindi yung luha? Siguro itong babae, ini-imagine ko, na-stress yung kanyang tear gland. Iniisip niya talagang, ang daming luha kasi nahugasan yung paa ni Jesus. Di ba, inisip niya, i-resort ko itong luhang to, hindi ako iiyak. Kasi kailangan doon ko lang to iiyak, no? Yung parang, hindi ako luluha ngayon, pipigilin ko to, mamaya na lang pagharap ko sa Jesus. Okay? And here's the thing. Yung kanyang attitude, okay, ay nagpapakita na may something sa babaeng ito. Her offering is acceptable sa Panginoon kasi inisip niya si Lord worthy ng offering na to. Si Lord, si Jesus Christ is worthy of this kind of expensive offering kasi eto na lang yung natitirang investment niya sa buhay. Maraming mga tao tira-tirang binibigay kay Lord. Tira-tirang oras. Tira-tirang talento. Napipilitang pag-oo sa mga commitments sa Lord. But this woman, this is all that she got. This is all that she can ever give to the Lord. So precious, so expensive, but she felt, this is worthy for the Lord Jesus. This is the one that God deserves. Iba't ibang reaksyon ang naging reaction ng mga tao sa paligid niya. But her attitude, number 3, is honorable. She stood behind him, at his feet, si Jesus po yun, weeping. She began to wet his feet with her tears. Then she wiped them with her hair, kissed them, poured perfume on them. Tingnan niyo to weeping. Yung kanyang ginawa, wet his feet with her tears, wiped them with her hair, kissed, poured perfume on them. Iba't ibang nagpapakita ng attitude. Sa ibang tao, nakakahiya. Alam niyo yun? Kaya ako sinabi, her attitude is honorable. Sa ibang tao, nakakahiya. Yung mga tao na nandoon, yung mga Pharisees and mga men of dignified position, sabi nila, ano ba naman yung babae niyan? Paalisin nyo nga yan! Diba sabi ni Lord, leave her alone. Lord, nakakahiya Diba, may isang babaeng gumapang dito. Ano ba naman yan? Alam niyo, parang, this is my house! Siguro sabi ni Simon, this is my house! Sabi ni Lord, leave her alone. Kung sa inyo nakakahiya yung ginagawa niya, but for me, this is honorable. Kung sa tingin nyo, parang walang kwenta yung ginagawa ng babae ito kay Lord, hindi. Ganon din sa buhay natin, di ba? Sometimes, people would think that what we're doing in the ministry is not right. Sometimes yung ginagawa natin paglilingkod kay Lord, sobra-sobra. You're being persecuted by your flatmates, your family, and by the people around you because you're making a lot of sacrifices for the sake of, giving your offering, your service, and the ministry that you've got for the Lord. For other people, this is such a waste. But for God, this is such an honorable act. Look at the negative reactions. Number 1, si Simon the leper, naging judgmental. Yung mga disciples, regretful. Si Judas Iscariot, resentful. Sabi niya, sayang naman. Ang mahal niyang perfume na yan. Sana, napakinabangan. May ano po ba kayo? Na-experience po kayo na isang phone na let's say iPhone, binasag niya sa sobrang galit. Parang, grabe, sayang, no? O kaya, ibinato niya lang yung mamahaling gamit. Sayang, sana sinalo ko na lang. Alam niyo yung ganong feeling? These disciples, they were regretful. Nangihinayang sila. Judas Iscariot, nagkaroon siya ng resentful feeling kasi sabi niya, sinayang naman ng babae nito yung offering. Maybe some would say, hindi ito nag-iisip. Maybe someone is saying, this woman is really out of her mind. But for Jesus, it is honorable. It is a picture of surrender to Jesus. It is once in a lifetime opportunity. And it is a matter of life and death situation. You know why I said that? She's living a sinful life. Okay? Bigla siyang pumasok sa kwarto. Alam niyo ang consequence nun? Pwede siyang kalagkiri palabas. Tapos pagdating sa street, pwede siyang pagbabatuin. So iniisip niya, papasok ako doon, bahala nang mamatay ako, okay lang. Mamit ko lang si Lord. Alam mo yun? Yung feeling na, I will enter into that room because when Jesus is already gone, I do not know where to find Him. So sabi niya, I will enter into that room. Bahala na. She has taken the risk of a lifetime. Once in a lifetime opportunity. Life and death. But it's okay. She's willing to risk. Alam niyo, sometimes takot tayo magbigay ng malaking effort kay Lord. Sorry to say this, but there are times na kailangan natin mag-level up sa ating faith and commitment sa Panginoon. Wala pa kang life and death, takot na tayo. Okay. 10% pa lang, takot na tayo. Di ba? Ilang oras ang life group nyo? 2 hours? Di ba? Parang nangihinayang kayo sa 2 hours. Pero itong babae ito, life and death. Di ba? Once in a lifetime opportunity. And this is about discipleship. Okay, look at this. Discipleship is a lifelong relationship. Di yan nag-iiwan kahit na nasasaktan. Kapag itinutuwid, di nagtatampo, bagkos nagbabago. Diba? Itong babaeng ito parang candidate siya for an honorable mention of discipleship. Sabi niya, bahala na. Sige, this is a once in a lifetime. Talagang i-grab ko itong opportunity na to. Alam niya, minsan pag-attend tayo sa church, may mga risk tayo, may mga sacrifices tayo. It's okay. Because it's part of relationship and discipleship unto the Lord. Now, in the long run, when we talk about discipleship, tapyasan talaga ng ugali yan eh. Amen ba? Nabago ba ang buhay niyo sa pag-attend niyo sa life group? Yes. Ang daming nabago. Convinced ako sa answer. Nabago ba yung buhay niyo sa pag-attend niyo sa life group? Yes. Great, thank you. I think one of the ways na ginamit ni Lord is natatapisan yung ugali natin. Nasasaktan tayo, di ba? At dito sa church natin, hindi uso yung pag kinokorek, ang sagot natin, di ikaw na. Di ba? Di ba? Sabi natin, sorry, mali ako. Minsan kasi nakakreate tayo ng culture na gano'n, parang, sis, alam mo, sorry, I have to say this, but you have to change this. Di ikaw na banal. No? Ako naman. Diba? Let's leave that out in the church. Because here, we're talking about discipleship. Christ-likeness. Amen? You know, when we talk about discipleship, paano ka i-level up ni Lord? Kung sa mga simpleng correction pa lang, nagtatampo ka na. No? Ito mga babaeng ito, she has taken all the risk, life and death, in order to follow Jesus. In order to meet Jesus. Pero tayo mas malaya, but sometimes, we have taken Jesus for granted. Now, let's talk about her example. Her example is really impactful. Why? Here's the verse. Jesus is pleased. Matthew 26:13. She will be remembered every time the gospel is preached. When was this written? Book of Mark. This is the earliest manuscript. Book of Mark is the earliest manuscript. AD 34. Today, 2019. But we still remember her because she was able to please Jesus. You want to live your life of legacy? You want to live a life for the next generation? You want to be remembered by the next generation to come? Look at this little life. Because Jesus is pleased. Sabi ni Lord, she will be remembered every time the gospel is preached. Mga kapatid, Kung haharap tayo kay Lord ngayon, dalawa lang yung action. Thumbs up or thumbs down. If we will face God right now, no? Meron ka bang moment na mararamdaman na parang gaganong ka? Lord, sorry, nakakahiya. I don't want to face you right now. Because if you were gonna scan my life, ganito yung makikita ko. You know, if just imagine, without any pretension,